Hello everyone and welcome to this very special edition, and of course you'll have a new name and a new voice rather in the commentary box this evening. My name is Gogs the Captain Brown. I am a little bit rusty, so do bear with me as I bring the action to you. We're here with Sim Racing Club for their Thursday night GT3 Championship. We have two classes this evening taking part, Pro and Am. Pro drivers on the left hand side denoted with the white numbered backgrounds such as M Roberts and P Postal, and the Am drivers with the red backgrounds such as J Harris, the number 401 Ferrari, and M Burton in the 211 McLaren. Right now we're watching M Rushton turn his way left onto the Nordschleife circuit. This is the qualifying session here at the Green Hill. We have a 30-minute session this evening. I do believe it is a split qualifying. We've got the Am drivers out first for the first 15 minutes, and they'll be followed by the Pro drivers for the final 15 minutes of qualifying. And there's contact there in qualifying. The Green McLaren trying to force his way past Robert Rushton. Not the smartest job there, has to be said. Some space maybe could have been worked out before he hit the Nordschleife section. So I'm not going to try and attempt a track guide this evening. There's just too many corners, to be honest. It does not work here. Weather forecast looks like it's a particularly grey. We call it Eiffel Mountain grey, where anything can happen. So we'll keep an eye on the weather, but it will look like we have a dry qualifying session. Let's just see what this looks like on board from the Aston Martin driver here. Sharp braking zone now, second gear corner. So let's have a look then at the current championship standings. See who is potentially one of the favourites for this evening in each class, and how the championship is indeed playing out this season. So in the Pro category, Dean Ellis currently leads by 1 point from Jake Garrett, with Harry Palmer 15 points behind them on 255. Matthew Roberts in 4th, Ferry Hetema 5th, Stu Rogers in P6, Peter Postal 7th, Toyev Ola in P8, Christian Collar in 9th, Mike Austell is 10th, Thomas Fitterer 11th, Dolan Castielli is in 12th, Chance Griffin 13th, Cyprian Mughal in 14th, Connor Quigley in P15. Some other drivers down there as well, not necessarily in the hunt. However, last time out at Kyalami, a win for Jussi Virolainen and Umit Ozer in P2. So interesting, they've not taken part in every race this season, but they have certainly shown their speed last time out. The Ford Mustang of B. Donkin in the Am class is now closing down on that Aston Martin. Hopefully enough space between now and the rest of the lap. 23 minutes remain in this qualifying session, and using my own experience around this circuit, this section we're watching just now, it's probably one of the trickiest. It's so high speed, and just putting one wheel wrong, one wheel on the grass is enough to obliterate the car, to be honest. And this corner's probably the trickiest one coming up now. Gentle lift as he drifts the car around. Absolutely perfect from the Mustang driver, kicking up the dust as he goes round there. Now into the carousel section, the first hairpin takes a right here, and then we've got a short burst of straight As he goes to tackle the tricky carousel, that banking, it looks smooth. Trust me, it's not. The Mustang fighting hard to keep itself going around there, and he does well. He's flashing his headlights. I think we've got maybe a car just in front. That's the 95 car. I think that is Rushton, actually. It is. That's the Aston Martin of Rushton. Already been involved in a contact earlier on. Hopefully it won't be involved in another. They're definitely getting a lot closer now, aren't they? If you've just joined us in chat, you'll be wondering who is this voice commentating on Sim Racing Club. It is Gogs the Captain Brown. Like I said, I am a little bit rusty this evening as Rushton went off track and invalidated his lap time. He'll be jumping back to the pit lane, I'm sure. He should have enough time, yeah, because the Joker lap is only a couple of seconds comparatively to this monster of a circuit. So the 401 car, that is Harris. Don't think he's actually on a hot lap. I think he was, well, maybe he is, I'm not 100% sure. It's so hard to tell at this time actually. Can we just nip into drive? That'll tell us. Yes, he is. No, 9 minutes 22, that's not a valid lap time. Absolutely not. I've lost camera controls, bear with me. And we're back. There we go. Got back to some production value at least. So he's down this long back straight. The longest straight on the circuit. Some cars actually up as they rise over this crest do begin to lose speed, and that's where cars such as the Mustang, the Lexus, the Bentley, if there's any Bentleys here this evening, Aston Martin will benefit, and some of the slower top-end speed cars such as the Lamborghini and the Ferrari will struggle. But now we've got our first lap time on the board, potentially, as Harris flies down the start-finish straight and across the line to set an 8 minutes and 22 seconds. Next up we have the Mustang of B. Donkin, the 177 car, the blue donned livery of the GT3 Mustang comes across the line and he takes provisional pole 18.8. 3 second gap, which of course is not a big gap around this circuit. Next we've got 230s just crossed the line. That's Serafino Gerbino in his white Ferrari. Crosses the line there, 5 seconds off the pace. And we've got Roberts there in chat. Yes, I am here. Thank you very much for the opportunity this evening. I hope I will present everything as coherently as my accent allows. P. Bowler next now in the number 7 McLaren. He's closely followed by number 44 Duffy, as well as a car comes round the Droko lap. They need to be very cautious as they do that. But the timing board on the left, Duffy sets a provisional time, and look at this. What is going on here? That is the Aston Martin, I believe, of Rushton, starting a lap. Came round the Droko lap obviously as the rest of the drivers were completing their laps. So that's a hazard that the guys will have to look out for, no doubt. Hay goes into 4th, 14 seconds off the lead pace time. I don't think we have anyone else coming around to complete a lap, at least for quite some time. Radband is currently round the circuit somewhere, but the Porsche of Cheetos, the number 4 car, comes round the final corner now. There's no one, I think, coming around to complete a Droko lap, so he won't have that concern. But approaches the line now and sets a lap time of 6th place. That's 21.5 seconds off the current provisional pole. So I think it was M. Burton who had a collision with Rushton earlier on. So these two guys still to set a lap time. Car number 46, that's McNamee as well. He's going round the back end of the circuit. A relatively smooth part of the track. You can see his steering inputs with this spectacular camera angle we have. Can't really see much of the track, but he is demonstrating a very smooth driving style. Shame we can't see into their eyes, their actual eyes, to broadcast themselves. That would be quite a cool feature. We'll just stick with McNamee here as he comes round. Yep, he has a confidence lift, as I like to call them. Another one here. There it is. Absolutely perfect. Right on the apex. Of course, now 1 minute remaining for the AM class drivers. Very composed around the carousel. Very striking livery, that, isn't it? I used to have a really old t-shirt back in the 90s. It looked with that exact colour scheme. I like that one. Now Radband in the 17 McLaren is now coming across the line. What time can he do? He will get another chance to go as well. He's timed this perfectly. He's got another 19 seconds, so he can complete this lap if he's fueled for 2 attempts. It looks like he's going again as well, so that'll be interesting. He'll be last across the line for the AM drivers as the pro drivers are about to be released onto the track. Here they come. There's a sea of McLarens, Porsches and Mustangs, and one Lamborghini and one Ferrari. It looks like now, a couple of Ferraris at least, leave the pit lane, and hopefully they'll be able to get themselves some gap as they go round, get some clean air to put their best possible lap times in. So we'll have back with the AM team again. Rushton is under pressure. He's got to put a time in now. His championship might depend on it. The current AM class championship leader. I realise we've not went over the pro drivers yet. We'll come to those guys in a second, and we'll see. I actually can't remember which championship I went through yet. That's fine, we'll revisit that in the gap between the race and qualifying and the race. So he's now coming up to this fast uphill section, is the Aston Martin driver. Very regal colour scheme on this Aston, sort of navy, royal blue and gold. But this section I do like to call toilet section. And if you look to the side of the track near the marshal posts, you'll see all the toilets, all the porta-johns as they would call it in America, at the side of the track. So this is toilet section. Absolutely perfect line through one of the trickiest parts of the circuit. So up ahead we've got the 401 car. That's Harris, who is fighting for pole, and Donkin, who is alongside him. Yellow flags out for 215. That's Serpentine. His qualifying is done for this evening. He'll start no higher than 5th in the AM class, as Harris gets very unstable flying over the jump. It really is such an exciting section as Donkin throws it into the wall. So now it's up to Harris. What can he do? Harris, Cheetos, Roberts and Rushton are the only AM class drivers still out on track. The pro class drivers are still fighting, and we'll come to those guys as well. They'll be fighting for track position just now. as they come round. They're sort of coming round the Grand Prix section, the bottom hairpin just now. So we've got plenty of time to focus on the Pro Class drivers this evening. But Harris now on to the long straight. Let's jump on board. Let's listen to that engine note. It looks like he's just hitting VMAX, that's terminal velocity, the fastest the car will go up that hill, and he'll get a bit more boost as he comes down the hill now. But can he keep it under control and challenge Donkin for that pole position time, at least within the AM tier? Very fast time actually, 8:18 or 8:21 as Harris has now, as he comes across the line. What can he do? Can he take the provisional pole position? He can't, he improves, but it's not enough unfortunately, and the Ferrari driver will jump back to the pit lane. Lamborghini over the jump, keeps it stable. Very tricky section of course, but just in front of him is Rushton in the Aston Martin. As he comes round the final corner, very important corner this one. Need to time the apex absolutely perfect, maximise your speed onto the giant... what word can we use here? Gigantic? Ginormous? Gargantuan. It's a gargantuan straight. Up the hill now, he's using all of those British/German horses in that car. Let's not beat around the bush, we know the Aston Martins are now made in Germany. But there it goes up the hill, over the crest, and kicks left now. Not far left to go for the Aston driver. A couple of left-right sections here. Now he's got to hit the braking absolutely perfect. Maximises his space, his line on entrance, and puts his foot down. Nothing more to do than to put the right foot to the floor. And what can he do? It is one and only lap. He goes into P7. We have one more driver to set a time. That's Zapriansky, and I hope I pronounced that one correctly. The green and yellow driver in the Lamborghini. Now the number 2 car comes across the line. What can he do? He goes into P10, a respectable time. Round about the lap time I would be doing around this track. But now we are going to go to the thick end of the field, and the current championship leader Ellis with a 4-wheel drift in his Lamborghini, and he's in the wall. We've just caught that one on camera. That lap time will be invalid. He'll need to quickly try and jump back to the circuit, but needs to be cautious because of all the cars coming round this section. Luckily I think they've all got through. Garrett's got through okay in the I'm Loving It car, the BMW McDonald livery. Could go some nuggets, that is certain. Palmer as well, very striking BMW. Hello O'Shea Wilson in the chat, thanks for joining us this evening. If you are of course in the chat, do let us know who you're supporting this evening, anyone you think, what they're going to be, any predictions you have, any crashes, who's going to win it, who's going to bin it. Thank you Harris for that inspiration. Watching back your streams as well. Retro Ghost there giving me some inspiration to get through the day. So let's see, let's have a look at that Pro Class Championship then. Ellis, Garrett, Palmer, we have went through that. It's the AM class we've not went through this evening. I do believe it was Michael Rushton who's currently leading the AM class. And it was indeed Rushton, Gerbino, Harris, Duffy and Daniel Hay. We've got a car off track there as well. That's that BMW, the blue and gold BMW of Palmer, who's in the wall. 296 and a 992. That's the Ferrari and the Porsche. Thank you very much for that information. We'll keep an eye on the Porsche and Ferrari drivers for you this evening. A lack, shall I say, of Ferrari drivers in the Pro tier. I do expect normally to see a lot of Ferrari drivers, given how easy the car is to pilot. And I'm very surprised, I must say, to see an Audi on circuit. Not a very popular car nowadays within the Assetto Corsa Competizione community, but some drivers do have the skills to make it work for them, and if they can, it is one of the fastest cars in a straight line. Almost unrivaled acceleration. As you can see there, he's all over the back end now of that Porsche. Needs to be careful not to ruin both of their laps, because the last thing you want to happen is to be stuck in amongst the tier that you're not driving with. And you can see he's all over the back of the Porsche. The Porsche has made a mistake and ran wide. Doesn't collect Cooper's, but unfortunately has been off track as Collar finds himself in the grass. Did he keep it out of the wall? Big curb there. Manages to keep it out of the wall still. Very impressive stuff, actually. Quite impressed with that one. The 888 car of Diamond just ports back to the pit lane as well. That's unfortunate. Now let's see what the Audi can do as he approaches the jump. Oh, so brave to go over that jump at that speed. It really is quite impressive. Not a part of the track I'm very fond with either. Collar makes it look easy in his Porsche 992. Palmer has just done the Joker lap. He's ready to go back out there again now, as is Quigley. Just completes his Joker lap. Conor Quigley in the McLaren. We'll see what he can do this evening. But now the pro drivers, the first pro drivers are about to come across the line. They're on that long back straight again. I do apologise to everyone who is a fan of the Nordschleife. I know two corners to be fair, two corners, but one's on the Grand Prix circuit's name, and that is of course the carousel. This is now the Audi Stadium section because Audi banners are on the side of the track, so that's what we're going to call it. And you can see the difference with the pro drivers right up against the wall on the exit off the final corner as Garrett comes across the line and shows the AM class how it's done. And we've got Roberts there, pip him by 0.6 of a second. It's getting very tricky to see the cars coming round there. Diamond's having to wait as Coopers comes across the line now. What's he going to do? That's not a valid lap. Oh no! And Collar, we've seen Collar I think off the track as well, so a lot. It's Griffiths managed to go through in the Mustang and take P3. But 4 minutes remaining, so the guys just started a lap. This will be their final lap now. Very familiar looking car this evening, the 242 Sky McLaren of Dan Naisbitt coming on to the back straight now. And what is, let's be honest, a very OP McLaren. I'm sure he will not mind me saying that at all. And just behind him, he's got the number 29 car of Castelli in the Ferrari, also in a white livery, tucked in behind, but not close enough, unfortunately. Now the 888 car, I believe, of Diamonds just went off at the hairpin at the bottom of the Grand Prix circuit, so he'll have to quickly get out again, complete his Joker lap, and get a lap completed as this Welshman comes round the final corner, bouncing over the curbs. He's definitely not leaving any time on the table. He's going to have 3 minutes to have another attempt, but as he comes across the line, he does put the car into P6. That's a respectable time from the Sky McLaren. Castelli now coming round across the line. Now that's not a valid lap time, so he's been off track somewhere and that time has not registered. Very interesting. This is where Diamond was off track earlier on. Gets round with relative ease on this occasion. Here comes Garrett round the same corner. He's 0.7 of a second off Roberts' pole position time, 8:15.5. Up we go round the Schumacher S. Nearly flat out, which is a testament, to be honest, in that BMW. Wonder if McLaren was able to do that as well. We've just missed that one, unfortunately. So who's yet to set a time? We've got Ellis. There he is. In his Lamborghini. Now he's fighting for the championship as well. Yellow flags out. Diamond's off. 151 to go. He's just passed the chicane at the end of the circuit. This Naisbitt's right up against that yellow sausage curb, and he's almost off track. Yes, he's done. That's it. The lap was invalid. He could have went round actually and completed the Joker lap and got himself another lap there, but he's going to be settled in P7. He'll start no further forward than that. So Roberts currently leads Garrett, leads Griffith in the Pro tier. Donkin and Harris mixing it amongst the top 5. Postal, Naisbitt, Gerbino, McNamee, Ola. We've not seen Ola out on track actually. This is Ola just now in the Lexus. Another rare car selection this evening. Yet to set a time, we've got Ellis, Stu Rogers, who I think is just starting a lap now. 51 seconds to remaining, leaving it tight in the purple and green Mustang. Then we have Collar, Coopers, Castelli, Diamond, Quigley and Palmer yet to set a lap. They'll have 35 seconds to cross the line. Now no one, I don't think, is coming round that back straight anytime shortly. The 76 of Quigley goes left as well. But the number 41 car, that's Coopers, is spun. 16 seconds remain. Can he get back across the line? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. He's crossed the line. So Coopers is going to be the last driver to complete a lap. The checkered flag is now out. Everyone is on their last chance saloon. So let's see currently who is in a very spicy section of the track. Palmer is yet to set a lap time. One of the drivers expected to be challenging for the win this evening. Here he comes now. Oh, we've got an onboard shot. Fantastic. In one of the most technical sections of the circuit. He uses it all off the track. He comes round the YouTube corner now. Keeps it within track limits. Very tricky left this one. It just keeps on going. And this right attacks quick as well. One of the corners coming up. This is it. This is the jump. Let's listen. Ah, a bit of a cautious brake has Palmer had. He's ran it very wide. He's definitely pushing. He wants pole position this evening. As he comes up to the caravan site. Very fast right-hander here and slows it down for the left-hander. These corners get progressively tighter in this section of the circuit. Rides the inside curb very nicely, hugs it like his favourite granny, and continues round the circuit for this important long right-hander. Yellow flags off car number 1, that's Ola in the Lexus off circuit. They'll start no higher than 10th place this evening, but they're still watching Harry Palmer, the championship contender, coming down the long back straight. Now you can barely hear that BMW, it's so far away. As the helicopter now picks him up for the final sector of the circuit. Palmer, of course, just 16 points off championship lead, so this pole position will absolutely make a difference for him if he's able to obtain it. However, that remains to be seen, because he's got to come across the line now. Where can he go? He goes third, 2 seconds off the time needed but still a very good time to put himself there on the second row, at least provisionally. Next, going to be coming across the line is Castelli in his white Ferrari. Now what can the Ferrari driver do? Well, actually I take that back, we're on the wrong driver. He's not next across the line, my apologies. His car 94 is next across the line. That's the current provisional pole time of Roberts. And he's just... Remember, he's got a good time. He's currently on provisional pole. He's got his banker lap in. He can push. He can leave it all on the table. And he comes across the line now. What does he do? Can he improve? He does. He increases the gap. 1.4 seconds. What was it? What, 18 point... I can't even speak anymore. Easy for me to say. 8 minutes 14 seconds. There we go. Got it out there eventually. Ellis now comes across the line. Ellis with a good lap. Goes second. 7/10 of a second. Actually just behind Roberts. It's so tight up the top considering the length of this circuit. That's not a big gap at all. And Collar again. It smashes into the wall. Ambition well ahead of Adhesion there, unfortunately, for Collar's Porsche, and he ends up in the tyre wall. Speaking to the Michelin man. The next car across the line is going to be a driver with another yellow flag there. That's Postal. Postal's been off circuit round YouTube corner, and that makes the end of his qualifying session. He'll start no higher than 8th. What's happened? Garrett's having connection issues and he keeps porting us to the pits. So hopefully that's not something that impacts us during the race. But here he comes now over the crest. And we're all on board with the McNugget BMW. He's braked very late there, hasn't he? He's really pushed this car as fast as it will go around this legendary circuit. Is it going to be enough to eat into the 1.5 seconds gap from Roberts? He improves, he goes P2, he's half a second off, but it's not enough, and Roberts is still on a provisional pole. Can Castelli do anything about that? The white Ferrari crosses the line, he's done good, he goes P4. Top 4 separated by just over a second, and quite frankly that is very impressive. Now the Audi of Coopers has not made it round the circuit. They were expected to be last across the line, but unfortunately they have been off track at some point and ported back to the pit lane. However, next across the line is going to be Quigley, and then we have Rogers as well, still to complete a lap as Rogers flies his Mustang almost. It really does look like a somehow, I don't know how it does this, right, but the Ford Mustang is somehow a completely different beast and yet the same animal all at the same time. It really is a challenge to drive and fun to ride. But here I'm talking absolute nonsense now. That's absolutely fine. It's all part of the parcel of GOG Comms this evening. But we'll jump quickly back to Quigley, because Quigley is now about to complete his lap as the helicopter once again picks up the McLaren driver. He's very cautious on the curbs. Kobe quote, that must have been where I've heard it before. A different beast and the same animal. Yes, thank you for that, O'Shea Wilson in chat. Quigley goes P19, he gets himself a banker lap, make sure he doesn't start in the back off the grid. And of course there's one man remaining out on track, and that is the different beast and the same animal. That's Stu Rogers in the 512 Mustang. He ducks now under the crest, and oh, look at the speed of that Mustang, the American power, the freedom machine. As he uses as much of the track as he dares. He's yet to set a time, of course. Where can Rogers put the Mustang? He goes P11. So a good time from the Englishman there. Puts himself into 11th. What a qualifying session. A long qualifying session. Yeah, only 2 laps set by everyone, so very interesting situation indeed. However, let's look at the results of qualifying. We'll run through the AM tier first. So here we are, that's the times on the board. The AM pole time 8 minutes 18 seconds, 0.860, set in a Ford Mustang of Brooklyn Donkin. He's followed by Harris in the Ferrari. 3 Ferraris next actually. Row 2 is Gerbino. It's not row 2, it's 4th in class. 3rd in class is Gerbino. 4th is McNamee. 5th is Hay. Serpentine managed to get himself in P6 with Rushton in the Aston. Challenging qualifying session for them in P7. Cheetos P8, Duffy 9th. Zapriansky in P10th. Radband in 11th. Bowler 12th, and Burton rounds out the AM class. In the Pro Tier, Roberts manages to set the pole position time despite not setting a single fastest sector. So great consistency shown by the McLaren, 8:14.812. Garrett is in second place, under half a second, sets the fastest second and third sector, but look at that, a 10th between them, that's incredible. Ellis goes third place in the Lamborghini, Castelli fourth in his Ferrari, the top 4 in different cars, all separated by 1 second. Great to see the admin team here have remembered to set the formation lap to short mode. We do not want to be crawling around the Nordschleife, so well done for doing that. Howler avoided. Harry Palmer is in 5th in the BMW with Griffith in P6. Donkin and Harris mixing up 7th and 8th. In row 5 is Peter Postel in the Ferrari and Dan Naisbitt in the McLaren. Row 6 sees Rogers and Gerbino, 10, 11 and 12, all very familiar with each other, of course. McNamee in P13, Ola in 14th. We've seen them have a challenging session as well. Hay 15th, Serpentine rounds out row 8. Rushton and Cheetos in row 9. Quigley and Duffy in row 10. Quigley 20th, Duffy 19th. Sapriansky? Somebody correct me in chat please if I'm wrong. Sapriansky in 21st with Radband 22nd. Bowler 23rd, Burton 24th, Collar 25th, Cupers 26th, Diamond 27th, and of course myself in the comms box, apparently in a Honda. Obviously would be absolutely horrific driving that car around here. What absolute lunatic in the right mind would take a Honda around the Nordschleife? So we've got 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining here. The track is showing as green. Very low grip surface. We've got a 1 hour race coming up with one mandatory stop. All the drivers must find their way into the pit lane at some point to complete a pit stop. I'm going to take a short break just now just to recover my voice as it stands while the drivers get their setups all ready. We'll be back in about 1 minute time. Please do not go anywhere. Okay, we are back. Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys and gals and non-binary pals. Welcome to this special event. We've got Sim Racing Club's Thursday Night Championship on Assetto Corsa Competizione. We're here at the legendary, daunting, absolutely chaotic Nurburgring Nordschleife circuit. It's barely a racetrack yet. We're here with GT3 racing cars powering their way through the Eiffel Mountains for supremacy. This is round 7 of the calendar here at Sim Racing Club's Thursday Night Championship. We have 2 championships, as previously mentioned, the Pro and the AM class, both fighting each other. In the AM class, Michael Rushton, Serafino Gerbino and Josh Harris are battling it out for the top 3 positions. However, Rushton and Gerbino separated by 9 points. Harris separated from 4th place Duffy by 6 points. Then another drop down to Daniel Hay, Brooklyn Donkin, Sean McNamee, Carol Radband, Paul Bowler, Alex Samarno, Trent Hunter, Reinhard Serpentine, Konstantinos Chitos in 13th, Dimitri Snai 14th, Ken Thomas 15th.
30 seconds.
With some other drivers as well, just recently joined the championship, not completely in the hunt, but that is the AM class situation. That's how that championship table is sorting itself out. If you're just joining us, thank you very much once again. We're 12 seconds off the start of the very short formation lap here at the Nordschleife circuit. Roberts is going to lead Garrett away for the formation lap, with Ellis and Castelli just behind them. Palmer and Griffith round out the top 6. Here is the view from on board Griffith, as the drivers are all ghost. The game's programmed to not make any contact during the formation lap, of course. You get some silly situations here as the drivers have to maintain double file as they try and get some heat in their tyres. Now the track is very green, so that's potentially a concern for some of these drivers. Now it looks like we've had a disconnection somewhere on the grid. I'll try and find out where that is. We'll see in a second. That's Dan Naisbitt. Dan Naisbitt's no longer on the grid, so he's been disconnected in some way. He will not be taking part, at least at the start anyway. He's not showing us in the pits either, so it looks like a disconnection of some kind. So here we go for the race start then. We've got Roberts in the black and maroon McLaren on the right there. The McNugget BMW of Garrett alongside Ellis in the BMW, and Castelli in the white Ferrari just behind. As we await the green flag, the butterflies in the stomach begin to gurgle as the drivers approach the start-finish line for this 1 hour race, and we are green. We are underway here for round 7. It's a tremendous start at the back for the Lamborghini. The BMW bogged down there at the start. The 3 wide into the first corner. There's always a frantic corner here. It really is difficult. There's contact at the back. 6 or 7 cars all facing the wrong way as they'll challenge to get through. Absolute carnage at the back. We'll come back to that and see what's happened. But it's Ellis in the Lamborghini, that leads Roberts and Garrett in P3. And Garrett's under pressure now from Palmer. Palmer's had a tremendous start. He's pushed wide, unfortunately. Griffith in the pink. Well, we missed that car in qualifying. Griffith in the pink. Different animal, same beast at the same time. It looks like we had some cars involved at the back. Serpentine looks to have been one of them. That's that blue Aston Martin of Rushton being pushed by Audi, so maybe Rushton's been involved in that as well. Well, Cooper's having a tremendous start, but look at this close battle going on here. Side by side up ahead as well. The green Porsche down the inside, and the Audi round the outside at the same time. Absolutely incredible stuff. And he's going for another overtake. 2 and 2 for the Audi driver. But up front it's Ellis who leads Roberts. And the sector times now just begin to update. We'll try and keep track with all the drivers as they come round the S-bend here. The Audi gets very out of shape on the exit. Duffy's also been involved. Duffy's running right at the back of this train of cars as we now turn left onto the Nordschleife, and now it's less about your speed racing lines and knowledge, I guess, of the circuit, and now it's more about your car control and bravery as you approach the treacherous back end of the Nurburgring Nordschleife. Frantic start as the track's still green, as we see the Mustang lose control and ambition ahead of Adhesion, and he's lost a place, and the pole sitter takes the position back, and now he's going to lose two as the McNugget sweeps round the outside, and there's a line in racing you never thought you would hear. Hopefully that Lamborghini is not too damaged, and Palmer's got himself ahead now of Castelli. As he's not over yet though, he's all over the back of him, is the Ferrari driver. As they come into the first real overtaking opportunity of the Nordschleife circuit.
The pit is now open.
As the pit lane is now officially open for drivers to make their one-stop. Track conditions are now shown as fast, and the driving timing board is finally going to update itself. So I guess now we'll get to see some of the updated positions as the trees get in our way there. Very tricky section, this tight left-right section. So it looks like we've got an updated timing board there. So who has had a good start, who's had a bad start, who is going to be happy with how things progressed. Nurburgring, as always, doing its best. I'll come back to that thought in a second. O'Shea Wilson, can't wait to see what the Lexus does in the straight line. That is the Lexus of Ola. Now it's unlikely we're going to see the impact of that behind a Mustang of Rogers, an equally good car in a straight line. But we will definitely keep an eye on Ola's progress in the Mustang. Palmer just kicking up the dust for everyone as they come round this corner here. Brilliant camera shots from the race director there. So we're 5 minutes in. Currently we have Roberts. Oh, yellow flags out at the back. We'll go for something in a minute. It's Bowler. They've got another car out at the back just behind him. We can't quite see who it is. I think it looked like a yellow car. Is it the Audi of Cooper's? It's not, but Cooper's are still flying. The number 7 of Bowler, and that's the green car. The Quigley, so Sapriansky, who's been off circuit in the Lamborghini. Serpentine also looking worse for wear, it looks like. And the straight line speed off the Audi at toilet section up the hill, really coming into its own. Very bumpy up here, of course, as we look back the way off the rear wing, looking at Cheetos. Again, I apologise if that name has been completely butchered. Now that is a very committed Audi trying to make his way through the field to catch up with the drivers in their respective tiers. So once again we look up front coming round the carousel. It's Roberts who leads Garrett and Castelli. He's got a very close Harry Palmer on his tail. Ellis, I think, is just behind them with Griffiths. Donkin and Harris still leading the AM class. It's running 7th and 8th on the track. Car number 7, Bowler's off track again at toilet section. Either that or he's pulled up to go to the loo. No car has ported to the pit lane. However, Dan Naisbitt has yet to return, unfortunately. So that looks like potentially our first DNS, I suppose. But as we watch Palmer come around YouTube corner now, it looks like Castelli is now beginning to just eke away at this slot, but we're going to stay up with the front pack just now. I know there's action all through the field, but just as they approach the jump, we'll just make sure there's nobody. As they got through relatively okay here. 3 cars, liner stern coming through there, very risky of course. Oh no, we've just caught it. I mean, we thought somebody would be done by it, and there's very close to Ferrari of Gerbino and the Lexus of Ola that managed to keep it pointing in the correct direction. We've got 1 car in the pits, that's Burton. Burton's in the pits and had enough for this evening. Quigley, and that is Bowler. It's Radband. Quigley and Radband having issues, and Radband looks like he's got issues with the Stevine. Now if he ports to the pit lane, that will void the entire lap and he's gone. 2-on-1 is ported to the pit lane. No, they've not. That's Burton, my apologies. So Bowler's still out there with a heavily damaged car, as is Sapriani. It's car number 17, Radband. Radband has definitely got some steering issues in that car. Some drivers coming undone by the unforgiving nature of this circuit. Now Ola in the Lexus, we mentioned the straight line speed of this car. He's got a Ferrari in his tow. The Ferrari we know is not the fastest car in a straight line. But as you can see, it's not actually pulled away that much. So let's see, has any driver thrown himself into the pit lane just yet? I don't think they will. As we look back down the pit lane, Alexis we've seen having off. Nope. I wonder who is going to try and dive right. From the Audi, looking for some clean air perhaps. We've seen Cooper's definitely had the straight line speed. Serpentine driving a very heavily damaged car, elects to stay out. It's not time yet. Now I expect to see some of these cars maybe jump to the right. Quigley remains out, however. Radband in the wall again. He's just coming onto that straight as well. Hopefully he can keep the car straight. As Sapriansky is now into the pit lane in the Lamborghini. Hopefully get it slowed down enough, and yes he does. So these drivers will complete their pit stop now. And see what they can do later on in the race. But Garrett is under severe pressure now from Castelli as they come out of the stadium section now. Is he going to go defensive? He does. The chicane coming up. The Ferrari gets a little bit onto the yellow sausage curb, but that has kept Garrett in that P2 position. Now Roberts not exactly dancing away at the front, but he is moving forward. Now car number 17 will keep an eye on where they go in the pits, if they make it back or not. They're still on the first lap. I think this section, the stability and weight of the McNuggets BMW it's enough, I think, just to give him the confidence to drive that car the way the Nurburgring's supposed to be driven. Palmer as well is hanging in there just behind. And Rushton is shown as being behind, only 0.3 behind that Porsche, but he seems to have fallen off a little bit now. The cars who have made their pit stops have all rejoined, apart from the car number 17, Radband, did make it back in, but Zapriansky has picked up a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We weren't sure if they had got it slowed down in time. It turns out they haven't, unfortunately for them. But the one driver who I'll be excited to see what they can do this evening is Cooper's in the Audi. They've looked absolutely rapid this evening. in the very striking Skechers livery as well. And they've managed to get themselves now in some clean air, so it'll be very interesting to see where they end up this evening. Well, this is the Ferrari of Gerbino. He has been behind the Lexus of Ola. Gerbino's currently second in the driving standings, and he's running P3 just now. So it's a good position for him. He won't want to ruin this, however. Needs to begin to make some inroads in the guys up there, P7, P8. See if he can actually capitalise on his tremendous championship position. With two cars, surely one car in the pits, sorry, my apologies, still Radban. Radban's still in the pits, a lot of damage to repair, of course. Now, the timing board showing that Garrett as only being 0.3 ahead as he gets a little bit out of shape, all squiggly on the rear end. It looks like Garrett's now beginning to close up again on Roberts, so the BMW likes the Nordschleife section. As the track's now beginning to heat up, beginning to ramp up in grip. The drivers will get a little bit more confident as that goes on. You have to question if confidence is something the BMW allows you to have around this circuit, the unique nature, of course, of this circuit. Means none of these cars are actually designed to run here. They're all designed to run around what you'd call your more traditional circuits. A little bit further behind there, we've got Cheetos and Rushton. Now, these guys coming up close together because we're looking backwards from the Porsche. We'll see if the Aston can catch. No moves happened, at least at that time. I've got another car showing us in the pits. That's car number 76. That's Quigley. Quigley is shown as in the pits now as well. Maybe they've been off track somewhere, had a massive accident. But unfortunately for Quigley, that's him now in the pits as well. Nearly half a lap. Potentially more than that down now. As we're watching the battle for 14th on track just now. The front three still line astern as they come over to the jump now. Oh, big air time from Garrett as he flies round the corner. The Lamborghini of Ellis is struggling, he's moving backwards, he's now in P6, he was leading the race for some off the first sector as Rogers almost, oh no, keeps it out of the wall, luckily enough for him, but Rogers nearly bins it going over the jump. And look how close now Gerbino is to the back of Ola as they now approach the back of that big green Mustang as well. We're on board with Gerbino in the Ferrari. Yellow flags there for car 46. That's McNanamy. He's facing the wrong way. He's in the wall as Serpentine just goes past, and Duffy's about to pass him as well. He's got the car going. He's not jumping back to the pits. It's great to see drivers with the determination to continue on. That is, of course, what you want to see. And Gerbino's got past Ola. Ola's had an issue. Ola's maybe been off somewhere, off circuit. And Gerbino's found the way past, but now we get to see As brought up in the YouTube chat earlier on, we get to see the Mustang's straight line speed. Look at it go! He's just got his lasso, tied it round the rear wing off the Ferrari driver, and away he goes. Absolutely no answer from the Italian in the Ferrari. He's gone. Oh, it's went deep! And Jabinho does well to avoid any repercussions from that, but Ola being off circuit. Car damaged, in the pits we go. Do they get it slowed down in time? Oh, that looked very treacherous. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But one person who will be relieved to have a little bit of a respite is the Mustang of Rogers. Ellis and Donkin have taken to the pit. So Donkin, who was running second or first and second in the top tier, in the top group anyway, in the AM class, has jumped into the pit lane early, as has Ola. We've seen Ola and Rushton now as well take the pit stop 42 minutes in. So they're going to have to run 40 minutes maybe. And one set of tyres around here, that's going to be tricky. Maybe they have no option, maybe that is their plan, stop with fuel. But we're only 20 minutes into this race. Strategy, of course, will play out this evening as the race unfolds. Do not go anywhere, you'll see how things progress. We are down to 20 drivers. It is, of course, a race of attrition around this circuit. You'll be amazed how many positions you can gain by just keeping it on the grey stuff in between the white lines. So quick recap then. Roberts leads Garrett, as we can see them both on screen now. That gap looks smaller than it was before between the front three, as Castelli is running third. Palmer currently runs fourth, a little bit off the back of this lead group now, with Griffith in P5. Postle's got himself ahead of Harris at some point around the circuit. Both Ferraris running 6th and 7th. Ellis now out the pits with a repaired Lamborghini. It shows P8, he's not currently P8, that is a fact. Donkin, I think, is P8 with Ellis in P9. Car number 21 showing off track, that's Hay. Hay's binned it at the final chicane. Oh, there's a lot of damage on that McLaren. He's going to go in the pits, surely. Needs to make sure he gets that car slowed down. Look at his wheel, he's turned almost 90 degrees left just to get it in a straight line. He's in first gear, so I think he has got to slow down just in time. The 21 car. Well, hopefully repair that car and get back out on track, and let's see if they can make an impact. So the front three, I think, are going to give us a show this evening. This one is going to be, it's lasted from turn 1, and I think it's going to last for the remainder of the race. They're very evenly matched, as we see in the background. Palmer playing WRC, getting the back end out of that BMW out over the grass. Bit of landscaping work. These three line astern. We've got a couple of drivers taking their pits, the pit stops. The Audi's gone. The Audi has gone. The Audi's obviously been. The yellow flag's out for car number 85 now as well. Who's in the car 85? Oh, Shona's gone now. Ola has been in the pits again. So Ola, unfortunately, looks like they may be out of the running this evening. Now these front three are definitely looking a lot closer now. Look at this. We come on to toilet section now. This McLaren is going to be given a tow to the BMW. A very good straight line speed, and the Ferrari is absolutely flying up the hill. Look at this. Look at this. Don't go anywhere. They're almost on the bumper. It's not really an overtaking zone, this section. That Ferrari has got an incredible top end speed. Oh, he does think about it. He's showing his nose in the rear quarter panel of the BMW. He backs out of it at least. Thinks better off it. And this time he's up against the wall. Did he hit the wall? The camera didn't quite pick that one up. Yellow flags out for car number 76. Earlier on in the circuit, we'll come back to that one in a second. Car 76. Can't quite see who that is on the circuit just now. But these guys coming round the carousel really are pushing each other to the absolute limit. Can't see a car number 76 on track. Was it 46 potentially? There's Quigley. Quigley's just ported back to the pit lane as well. I must say it's very disappointing to see so many people quit from a race. It's not something you like to see at all. Another driver down there, we're down to 18 on track. Very disappointing to see. So right now we've got this front three still pushing each other to the limit, bumper to bumper. We've got Donkin, Ellis, Ola, Hay, Radband all made their pit stops this evening. Big massive props out to Radband, who's still continuing out there, and of course car 21 D Hay, all having been off the track and rejoined. I absolutely love to see that. It's great to see for anyone watching the stream back as well. So we've still got 36 minutes remaining. Can these three keep up that action? Oh, the Ferrari's gone wide. A little bit eager on the throttle, ran out of talent in the banking and ended up mowing the grass on the exit. Now that's put them off the back, off the front too, as Garrett's had an incredible exit. Maybe a mistake by Roberts. And the BMW is known for having a very good top end speed. The McLaren not so much. Not a slow car by any means, but let's see the BMW in the slipstream up the hill. And we can see the gap closing. It's definitely closing. It's closing. Not really what you call a traditional overtaking spot coming up. Will he go for it, or will he tuck in behind and try and get him down into turn one? He has tucked in behind. The gap is closer than ever. What will Roberts do? Will he peel right into the pit? No undercut to be attempted just now, but either off the top three as they come across the line now. Only 0.2 of a second separate first and second place as the BMW moves to the inside to make a move. Roberts sticks to the outside. That's going to have Roberts on the inside for turn two, and the drive and the both of these guys battling, of course, has now brought the Ferrari of Castelli back into the action. Palmer 5 seconds off the back of these guys, with Postel about to cross the line as well. But these three running line are still. Griffith is taken to the pit lane. Harris in 7th still out there. Stu Rogers now running a solid P8 in the 512 Mustang. And Rogers has now got Gerbino for company as well as they come through the stadium section. Donkin's just got himself past Ellis. So that shows you the extent of Ellis's troubles this evening. Ola's back out on track as well. Fantastic stuff, as is Bowler. Great to see, guys. So glad that you're back on track. Thank you so much for rejoining. It really does make this a much bigger spectacle for everyone involved, and I hope everyone returns the favour for you guys as well. This is the battle for P8. It's interclass, so there's AM versus Pro. However, all cars are free to fight on track. Of course, there is no priority system in place. Up front again, the front three still within 1 second of each other through the last timing point in chat. We've got Daza T009. Thank you very much for joining us this evening as we hear this unique challenge off the Nurburgring. And these three at the front are taming that challenge the best they can. Roberts darted out to an early lead after the mistake by Ellis in the Lamborghini, who's now running in P14, having made his early pit stop. But look at this, the BMW is all over the back now, off the McLaren. Look how close now, they're side by side. This section's so tight, it would be surely suicide to attempt to go side by side through the next turn as he backs out of it. He does position himself to make a move, but is he making a move, or is he even just trying to be defensive as the Ferrari is pushing him all the way? There are going to be three wide here of us at one point. This is absolutely crazy. I've never seen anything like this. I've been a racing fan for nearly 30 years. I have played sim racing games for close to 20, and been sim racing on Assetto Corsa for nearly 3 years now. And I've never seen anything quite like this. These three drivers closely battering each other around the Nordschleife for what is now lap 4. And they're now, of course, with them battering each other, they're losing track time to Harry Palmer behind. He's been slowly brought back into contention with these guys as well. A little bit further back, we've got here Gerbino in the AM class, keeping touch with the back end of Stu Rogers around the Nordschleife circuit. And Ellis has got himself ahead of Donkin now as he puts his pace off the Lamborghini to the test. He's still many seconds behind Griffith, unfortunately. Or is he? No, he's not. A lot closer than it says. Car off track. We've seen yellow flags jump out there. Who was it for? It was a Harris. Harris has got a heavily damaged car, running very slowly. Gerbino's got himself ahead of Rogers. Now it was Rogers who was off, but Gerbino has made a move in that Ferrari and continues now to chase down Harris, who is limping up ahead. But look at this, the battle for second place. The Ferrari goes alongside. They're going through the toilet section now. This is now straight power, and there's a huge contact. It looked like the Ferrari got on the curb, launched himself into the BMW, and that's going to allow Palmer past. The Ferrari now taking what must be out of contention for the race. It was always going to end in tears, and Ambition definitely came ahead of Adhesion there as the both cars collided into each other at what must be the fastest part of the circuit. And that's resulted in Garrett with a damaged car, and now having to defend from Palmer. So Palmer must have been licking his lips at the opportunity now presented to him, and Roberts can now wipe the sweat from his brow and at least have a small respite. You never do, of course, truly get to rest around this circuit. But that's absolute heartbreak for Castelli, who now of course has Postel bearing down on the back end of his white Ferrari. We'll see if he can keep that one going. Dust being kicked up ahead, of course, that's between Garrett and Palmer. Action all through the field here this evening, as Rogers now looks to have claimed some time back on the Ferrari of Gerbino. These two, of course, trading places as the race goes on. can't believe that at all. Side by side, up toilet section. It's never going to work. I know you've got to make the move somewhere, but it's never going to work doing that. And you've got to have full faith of both cars, and one car that got on the curb, and that was it. That was all she wrote, unfortunately. Still only a couple of seconds between these guys at the front. Garrett survives the jump. What's happened to Palmer? Palmer's fell off a bit now at the back, and Castelli comes over the jump now as well. Oh, Harris looked like he was limping earlier on. He's definitely carrying some damage. That car's seen better days. Turbino is on the curb over the jump. Somehow keeps it going in the straight line. Rogers no issues this time. And Griffith a little further back, coming round the YouTube section. Of course, the lead car, who has pitted, the lead car, they're still driving, doing a good job. Of course, will be great. I'll be very curious to see where they come out. Where the leaders come out in relation to Griffith, who has pitted early, and of course now those tyres will begin to go off towards the end of the race. But with 27 minutes remaining, Roberts leads Garrett, leads Palmer, leads Castelli, Postel, Harris, Gerbino, Rogers, McNamee, Ellis, Donkin, Cheetos, Duffy, Hay, Radband, Ola, Quigley and Bowler. All cars mentioned still running. We have had what must be, I think, close to 10 retirements. It is always something that can happen around this circuit. Now Rogers in the Mustang would be expected to be making some inroads on Gerbino on this part of the circuit. Doesn't seem to be the case. The Mustang not showing the pace it usually has. Now Palmer stayed out. Palmer will take the lead of the race. Roberts and Castelli in the pits, and Garrett's been in the wall. Heavily damaged McNugget there. That has not had the correct amount of sauce to be dipped in, and he has been off track at some point. He's ordered a Big Mac and he's been given a McPlant. No, I have no idea what I mean by that, so I do apologise. Palmer now leads then. Palmer's got some clean air in front of him. He can just try and be consistent and try and take advantage of those guys around him. Roberts cleanly in and out of the pits. No traffic for him. He's just came out, I think, behind Rogers and Gerbino. Gerbino's in the pits, so he's came out behind Rogers ahead of Griffith. So Griffith coming across the line now. We'll need to wait a while until we get a confirmed time. The car 76, that's Quigley. Is running very slowly. What's happened to Quigley? Quigley's got some steering column issues. Car ahead of him as well. Looks like it's struggling. That's not Ola. Who is that? Car number 7? Bowler. Bowler's been in the ward as well. Maybe Quigley and Bowler coming together, it looks like, potentially. Palmer's still a way out there. Roberts is showing a second. I don't think he is second on track. I think Postel will show us second in a second. Now Garrett's just beginning to leave the pits now. He's going to come out ahead of Cheetos behind Donkin. The timing board's going to take some couple of minutes to update itself, I think. If I understand correctly, Palmer leads Postel, leads Harris, and then Rogers has found himself in P4. So yeah, that's the cars who have not yet pitted. That makes sense. Behind Rogers, yellow flags out of a car 116. That's Garrett. No! Garrett has been off. It's all come undone. And yellow flags for Hay. He's spun the rear end and he's ported. Why has he ported to the pits? Oh, hey, you'd make it back to the pits. You've now voided your lap and you're going to be a lap down when you rejoin, and it's the biggest lap of the season. Absolute heartbreak for Hay there as he spun on the exit of the carousel. That's how dangerous that part of the circuit is. And now we've got an updated timing board. So Palmer leads by 13 seconds to Postel. Postel's got a similar gap back to Harris. Harris leading the AM class, great drive from him. Rogers a further couple of seconds just behind that. And another interesting battle, Gerbino with a couple of seconds ahead of Rogers. So has Gerbino done enough to catch the AM class leader? Again, don't go anywhere for the next 22 minutes. We'll find that answer out. Castelli's pitted. Doesn't look like he's repaired the damage to the car though, which is interesting. Obviously feels like he can continue with that damage. He's definitely saving the landscapers some work there as he mows the grass on the exit. Oh, it's not that with a tricky corner. So they're all tricky corners around here, who am I kidding? So the field now begin to spread out. We do have some alternating strategies going on here. So the cars who are still out, when they come back out the pits, they're going to have a lot more grip than some of the guys who have pitted very early. That's going to lead to a conflict in strategies and potentially some fireworks towards the end as Castelli goes round the tight left-hander. And I wonder where Castelli can find himself again, because he's only showing as 9 seconds behind Roberts, so I don't think that battle's over, and Roberts has a very, very clean pit stop. So here's Garrett, he's just out of the pits, he's showing, I think, just ahead of a Porsche. Now who is that Porsche? That's Cheetos in the 992. So Garrett's lost a ton of positions to Ellis, Griffith, Castelli. He's already behind Roberts. So that's interesting. Yellow flagged out, showing for Ola, who's come undone at the jump. It's not been Ola's night in the Lexus. Very difficult car, of course, to control. McNamee running in P14 still. Duffy just ahead, but looking like he's limping a little bit in that car. So up front, Palmer still leads as he comes around the YouTube corner. And here comes Postel as well, the Czech driver in the 68 Ferrari. Please, if he's any other nationality, I do apologise. That's an assumption I've made. I do apologise if I'm incorrect. Harris still running in P3 as well. Are these guys past the jump? I think they are. Harris is definitely looking like he's limping, so that's definitely something for Gerbino to get himself interested in. We're coming up to the jump here, aren't we? And here it is. Oh! And Rogers as well. Yellow flag shown ahead. Why are we showing yellow flags? I think that's for Ola potentially up ahead in the pit lane. Perhaps a glitch with the game, unfortunately. Garrett's got himself ahead of Cheetos, hopefully without any contact. Now he's approaching the carousel section. Here he comes round the carousel. so patient with his right foot. But gets around absolutely fine, not a problem on this occasion. Hopefully he can get some confidence back in the car. He's looked a bit shaky since he came out of the pit lane. The commentator's curse, I am sure. Does he manage to keep it out of the wall, does he? He does. He's off track as well, keeping it out of the way for the cars coming round. He's nudged the tyre, the arm coil now as well. Interesting fact actually, if you do that in real life and you take your own car to the Nurburgring, you get a hefty bill for a repair job. It's very easily to bankrupt yourself, having just a little bit too much ambition and not enough talent when you come around this circuit. Harris now at pits, so interesting to see what happens to Harris, where he comes out. Rogers, I'm sure, is going to follow these guys into the pits. He does indeed. Gets it slowed down perfectly in time. So Roberts now going to come through and retake the lead. For that I am absolutely certain. The gap 8.6 between Roberts and Castelli. But the question is, where does Palmer come out amongst this? The gap's now 7 seconds apparently. Take that one back, of course. It's the gap behind that we're interested in. For Castelli, 9.1 is the gap. Now Palmer's beginning to move. And we've got one car going past. Is that Ellis? Ellis is coming down the straight now. And Palmer is out in front of Ellis but behind Griffith. So Palmer rejoins then in P7. And he's got a penalty. It's a 30-second stop-go penalty for Harry Palmer. That's going to throw him down the grid even further. That's what I'm saying. This is why you stay in the server, why you stay in the race. You never know quite what can happen. It can always go right and it can go so wrong for anyone around you. So stay in the race, stay in the server. You never know what's going to happen. You can bring yourself right back into contention. But Roberts then is back in the lead of the race. The timing screen will update shortly. Castelli just behind him, currently showing 9.1. We'll keep an eye on that gap as well. Don't actually know where the timing board is for its fake sector 1. I know it's about 2.5 minutes into the lap, so we've got a little while yet. Griffith is indeed a net third on track. Great job from Griffith. He comes round the chicane. Yellow flags, car 76. That's Quigley again off track. Quigley's not had a favourable evening, that is for sure. Behind Quigley we've got a car in the middle there. That's car number 27. That's Palmer there. Palmer's got himself a penalty, so that's technically not in the correct position. As Roberts looks to have got a bit sideways going through that section. Seems to have recovered okay now. It's also a fun section the drivers are coming up to. Listen. Yep, a confidence lift from the Ferrari driver. Keeps him pointing in the right direction. 9.1 was the gap. Hold on. And there we go, 8.3 is the gap, so Castelli is faster, he has the pace. Can he catch Roberts within the next 13 seconds? That remains to be seen. 13 minutes, my apologies. Palmer's shown his fourth, but he's got his stop-go penalty. It's Ellis who is tucked just behind him in fourth. Great recovery drive from the Lamborghini. Donkin's showing just behind. Where's Gerbino went? Gerbino's showing his way back. Maybe Gerbino's had an issue maybe in the pit lane, not too sure. Thought he was a shoo-in to catch Harris, but he's actually, yeah, Harris is 5 seconds ahead of Rogers. So Rogers has managed to jump Turbino. Very good lap from the Mustang. Taking advantage there, potentially, of some troubles for Turbino. So who have we not seen much of this evening? Everyone's a bit spread out now. We need these strategies to slowly converge now on each other, and they will do. They will absolutely do so. Where's Palmer going to end up? Round about Duffy and Garrett, it looks like. So maybe Palmer and Garrett will get themselves a good old battle later on, once that's... Either he serves as a stop go or he doesn't, and he gets a penalty at the end. We'll see what he elects to do. Donkin's not had much love this evening. Let's give him some time on the screen. Let's talk about Donkin's season, actually. So where is he? So let's look here. Brooklyn Donkin is currently sitting 6th in the championship with 199 points. 2 points ahead of McNamee, but he's going to extend that this evening. Should this continue, of course. Last couple of races out, he's had... Okay, so his first race in the series was a P14, that was in round 3. And since then he has went first, second, and this is looking like a first place as well for Brooklyn. So if he keeps this up anyway, that is, he's got a long way to go. 10 minutes left at the Nordschleife is not a small task by any means. But let's see if he can convert this race into another win, making it 3 on a trot for the Mustang driver. Close on his heels though is Harris. Now Harris is 3rd in the championship. And he's managed to get there without a win actually. So he's went 4th, 7th, 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 3rd and 4th. Currently on for a P2 if he's able to keep this going. He's very injured looking Ferrari. Definitely looking for the skills, the patience rather, to do so. As he comes over the jump just now, and he gets around there relatively cleanly. I do love watching the Mustang do it because he gets all 4 wheels off the circuit. I think Rogers has learnt from earlier on. Turbino still plays flirting with the curb. Interesting situation though up the front of the grid, because Castielli has closed the gap from 9 seconds at the start of this lap, now down to 6 seconds. He's at 3 seconds into Roberts' lead, and he's pulling away from Griffith as well. So this one's not over by any means. You can see them now, they're actually on the same straight. You can even see them when the camera pans in such a way. Goes round turn 2 now, uses every inch off the track and just a little bit more as the customers on the Ferris wheel get a spectacular view off the Ferrari's skill. The Palmer's jumped in to take the stop, going Ellis is elected for a pit stop. What is... his tyres must be absolutely shot, or maybe he's miscalculated the fuel. Always a risk here as well. Maybe did not have enough for 2 laps, and I think Roberts is going to make sure it's 2 laps for everyone. Depends how fast he gets round this race. So it could end up being another 2 laps to complete, and that might catch a lot of drivers out, to be honest. And that's maybe what Ellis has done here as well, as Palmer has jumped in. Ellis still not moved. Ellis drops, and it's close between the two of them. Stop go cleared, of course, for Palmer, but Ellis gets out in front of the BMW driver. Now where are they? They're behind Rogers, who is P9. Are they behind Gerbino? They are. So they came out between, just ahead of, behind Gerbino and ahead of Garrett. So Garrett, Ellis and Palmer could be in for another blockbuster finish. Duffy and McNamee are also close to each other. They've kept battling as well. Donkin shown as 0.2 ahead of Postal. I don't think that's exactly correct, but Postal potentially now closing. But the big question on everyone's mind has to be Roberts and Castelli. Now, will they lead all the cars round on another lap? This has not been officially announced as the last lap yet. I don't think we're able to do that. I think that gap's more than 5 seconds as well. Maybe a mistake maybe for Castelli somewhere, pushing so hard. I think it has been. That gap's been made bigger. 13 seconds now. Griffith has definitely, there's been a mistake I think by Castelli. It's not over, of course. Castelli has had the pace, been the fastest driver on track all evening. So 4th place is now Donkin. Donkin's done an incredible drive this evening. He's got Postal just behind. 2 seconds behind him as well. Postal's on for a P4. Keeps going to Palmer. Palmer's not behind, it's Harris. Harris has ended up in front of Gerbino as well. And not the best time for Gerbino. Car 44, Duffy and McNamee facing... They've had an accident again, maybe been contact. Don't know what's happened there. Both drivers playing a game of after you, sir, no after you. No after you, sir. Nobody really wanted to do another lap off the Nurburgring. I don't blame them. It's been an absolute war of attrition this evening. The big question. Oh, yellow flags out again. That's car 76. Who's car 76? That definitely says 70. It's 176. Who's car 176? (177) is it Donkin? No? Was it 116? I think it was. I think I was ahead of that. 177 is Donkin. He's got Postal right on his tail now. As we watch the leader now approach the carousel, Roberts has led pretty much from the start. Ellis was in front for about 6 corners for making a small mistake which put him back down the order. And since then, Roberts has just went into the zone. Been borderline untouchable. There was a period where both Castelli and Garrett were all within about a second of each other. It was never going to last. It was always going to end in tears. We've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Now the question is, does Roberts use those 10 seconds to secure a win, slow things down as he comes to the start-finish straight to get himself across the line, or 76 showing yellow flags again? That's Quigley. Quigley not had the best of days best of evenings this evening, that's a certainty. Radband also driving very slowly. Here's an interesting one we've got going on. Very interesting situation. Palmer recovering from a drive-through, and I think Ellis, oh, big tank slapper for Palmer as his right foot gets more ambitious than the tyres will allow, and pulls on a 4-wheel drift on the exit of the carousel. Very easy to do, of course, with the change of elevation. And that's put a bit of distance between these two for the time being. Rogers round YouTube corner. This is Harris approaching the bump. Gets round relatively okay, and Rogers now the next driver to tackle the jump. Oh, it looks stunning, doesn't it, with all 4 wheels. It's the only car that does it, I've noticed. The rest of them kind of just sort of bunny hop over, like sort of front end dips and the back end goes up or whatever. Yellow flags again for Quigley. He's had an absolute nightmare today. As Radband comes round, that's 4th position, I think. Radband puts a lap on Quigley.
Leaders on final lap now.
And with a 25 seconds to go, Matty Roberts has potentially put everyone under the cosh in terms of fuel. I hope everyone has got enough fuel left on board. He's got 9 seconds to play with to take it home. You have to say the ball's firmly in his court as the checkered flag is now out. So everyone, including car number 7 Bowler, is going to have to complete 2 laps to complete this race. The Postal's cut up to the back of Donkin. And the BMW of Palmer is definitely going to have more straight line speed than the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini, one of the slowest cars in Assetto Corsa Competizione. And both these cars look highly unstable, definitely volatile. Coming out into the chicane, it looks like they carry too much speed, but they both get slowed down. That BMW mounts that curb like it's just not even there. Just chews it for breakfast. You have to say, Palmer's definitely, at least right now, looking the racier of the 2 cars. Battling here, the Lamborghini is so good on the brakes. But he runs deep. He's got the inside line, but he stalls on the apex. Interesting racecraft from the Lamborghini driver just now. We'll jump very quickly to Postal. He's still fighting with Donkin just up ahead. Nothing doing this time. The BMW off. Power still fighting Ellis. Again, we'll keep an eye on the gap at the front. 9.6 as they cross the start-finish line. We'll see what happens. Very shortly with these guys. As they come round the S-bend for the final time. Palmer looks racy, doesn't he? He definitely wants to get himself ahead of Ellis. Coming up to the chicane now. That yellow sausage curb can easily undo someone's race. The BMW looks so stable, doesn't it? Palmer just shows his nose up the inside. The Lamborghini looks like an absolute handful to drive just now. Remember, Ellis is leading the championship. Palmer is down in third. This is an opportunity for Roberts. I mean, Garrett's down behind. Where's Garrett? Garrett's behind these guys as well. So this was an opportunity for the drivers to catch Ellis in the Lamborghini, and Garrett, Palmer are all failing to do that. Roberts is the only one who's going to maximise that situation. Rogers as well, just in front of this lot. Rogers behind there, kind of in the hunt as well. But nothing doing, at least just now. The gap, 8.7 up front now. 8.7 seconds. Again, we're going to see the BMW close up on the back off the Lamborghini as it goes around this high speed section. But nothing doing this time again. It's an interesting graphic. I've never seen that before. Down the bottom left there, Quigley 1,209.2 seconds behind. That may be a record of the biggest gap I've ever seen in Assetto Corsa Competizione. Record breaking all throughout the field this evening here at Sim Racing Club. As Postal still tries to get himself past Donkin. Of course, he doesn't have to. He's fourth in class. If he overtakes Donkin, he'll still be fourth in class. Of course, there is an overall championship being run as well. But I think a little bit of racecraft. Unless there's a mistake to pounce on. Possibly, I don't see that one being changed. So, quick update then. Roberts still leads in last time out, set the fastest lap off the race. Castelli has closed the gap down from 13 down to 8 seconds in the last lap. What will it be now is the timing board updates around the carousel. It's now 6 seconds, so the race is still on. As Griffith as well now joins these guys in his grey and pink Mustang. Donkin under pressure from Postal, who's running 4th in tier, 5th on track. Harris running a very respectable P2 in the AM class. Rogers as well recovered. I think he was 11th he started, now up into P7. Good drive from Stu, from the Yorkshireman. Giordino still on his tail, absolutely relentless. Then we've got these two, I think, who are destined and doomed to fight forever. About to get himself into a good old fashioned ding dong as round 7 is slowly coming to an end. We're in the twilight hour of this round. Garrett still 13 seconds behind those three, of course, involved in the championship battle. The other car, of course, Matty Roberts, who's currently leading the race. McNamee is running in 12th, of Duffy 13th. Again, very heavily wounded looking McLaren there. Cheetos in 14th, Radband 15th. Ola has had enough and finally decided they were in the pits. Quigley has ran out of fuel. I think they'll be waiting for the leader to go round one more time. Yep, engines still running in both cars. That's what that'll be for. They'll have run out of fuel. Or will run out of fuel if they do one more lap. And you have to wonder, would it make more sense to pit? You never know what's going to happen on this last lap. But this is now the gap as we come into the final couple of corners. It's been an absolute domination from Roberts, who is at least today anyway, at the head of the timetable. Fastest lap and about to take the race win. As he comes round the final corner now, taking it easy, I am sure, just making sure he crosses the line. As he passes the two stricken cars parked at the side of the road, he flashes his lights in celebration. It's a win for Matty Roberts. And Castelli comes home to take P2 as the lapped cars there. Quigley and I can't make out who the other car is come across the line, unless they have legit. It's Bowler. Bowler crosses the line. Thank you very much in the chat, appreciate the kind words. Griffith comes home to take the final spot on the podium, and let's give a round of applause to Donkin, who's going to come home in P4 overall but take the win in the AM class. Flashes his lights in celebration. He's going to drag home Postal across the line as well. Harris, Rogers, Gerbino going to be next across the line. It's Ellis, however, looks to have pulled away slightly from Harry Palmer in the final moments of the Nordschleife. These two gave us a good old-fashioned ding-dong in the last couple of corners. But across the line comes Harris to take second in AM class. Rogers is going to get pushed across the line almost by Gerbino. 7th and 8th place, a podium for the Italian. Ellis in the Lamborghini, the championship leader, coming into the race, takes P9, and Palmer rounds at the top 10, recovering from a stop-go penalty. Garrett, been in the wars today, will bring home that McDonald's livery car, but I'm pretty sure he is not loving it this evening. And a huge crash as McNamee smashes into the wall. Now Radband showing ahead of him. I think that is just potentially the next car to cross the line. So we'll stay with Radband just now. I think he's a couple of laps down, but he stayed with us. He has been in the wars today as well, but as a reward for sticking with us this evening and continuing to drive, we're going to stick with you as you cross the line. As Radband, I think this is maybe his first race with the league actually, can't see his results anywhere. He crosses the line and cements his P15. McNamee is in a heavily damaged car. Look at it go. His steering column squint. His front bumper's falling off. His rear wing is rotated at 10-15 degrees. Not the best advertisement for Logitech. Interesting to have Logitech and Fanatec on the sponsor boards on the car, but nonetheless those competing companies have elected to sponsor the same car. But the man sporting the colour scheme of my old Mizuno 5-a-side t-shirt comes round the final corner now, and he's going to cement himself that, well, it says 10th just now. Some people have indeed left the server. We'll run through the results in a second, but he's going to come across the line. Congratulations. And Duffy as well again will stick with you. Your car's looking in a much better condition than the driver in front of you is, but we do have some corners left, so I won't curse you just now. The number 44 car pushes it all the way to the very end and has a little ride with the wall. Amazing that we got to catch that one on camera. I'm not sure he will agree as well. The steering column looks completely smashed. Now he needs to be careful because Cheetos behind is for position, so just bring the car across the line. Well, thank you very much for proving me wrong. The car is not in a better condition than the car in front of it anymore, as a big massive air vent appears in the front bonnet of that car. And the last man across the line is going to be the man with the hardest name to say, Konstantinos. I think I've got that right, Konstantinos Cheetos. The man from Greece will bring his German car around the German track in what I'm pretty sure would make an excellent kebab combination. Round the final two corners he comes now. A big air vent in the front bumper of that Porsche. Not that it matters, there's not an engine in there because they designed cars the wrong way. But across the line in P14. Congratulations to every single person who completed that race tonight. That is no small feat, I assure you. I have driven around here myself in ACC. It is very difficult to even string 2 laps together, never mind a 1 hour race. But the podium this evening, Matthew Roberts takes the win in a 67 minutes race, crossed the line with about 20 seconds to go. Castielli, valiant effort in the end, only 4 seconds behind, and you have to wonder if that mistake on the second last lap did cost him the win today. The stewards, of course, will have a look at incident with Garrett about halfway through the race. Griffith, at least provisionally, will take 3rd place just now. That's the provisional podium pending results finalisation. Donkin takes the win in AM class with Harris in 2nd. And Gerbino rounds out the podium in AM class. Let's run through the rest of the order as it was on the track. Donkin 4th, Postel 5th, Harris 6th, Rogers 7th, P8 it was Gerbino, Ellis and Palmer round out the top 10 after giving us an incredible display on the final lap. Garrett in the not loving it liveried car, the BMW McDonald's car in 11th, McNamee in 12th, Duffy 13th, Konstantinos Cheetos in 14th, Radband 15th, Quigley in 16th, Bowler 17th, Hay 18th, Ola 19th. And that's the last of the classified drivers. Beyond that, we have Serpentine, Rushton, Coopers, Sabriansky, Diamond, Burton, Collar and Dan Naisbitt did not take the start. So that's the end of an incredible race this evening. I hope you have enjoyed it. For those guys in Sim Racing Club, I hope the accent has not been too strong for you guys and you're able to watch this back. If you are interested in taking part, of course all sign-ups are available on SimGrid, and of course you can sign up that way. It is free to do so. The only requirement is you must be a member of Sim Racing Club's Discord channel. Thank you very much for watching. I'll leave you guys in the Discord to have a good chat amongst yourselves with the aftermath of the race. My name is Gogs the Captain Brown. Thank you very much for watching this evening. Until next time, take care. Good night.